Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are out working on a 2014 Ford Edge. The midship bearing or bushing is shot. I'll show you the new one and we'll take a look at what we got going. Here's our new bearing. Our drive shaft slides through here. The rubber and the inside of this right here is all worn out on the one that's in here, so there's a lot of play in the drive shaft. This bearing's going up and down. So we're going to get that out. We'll show you how to split the drive shaft, get the new one put in. Okay, so we got the car up on the hoist. I know not everybody has a hoist, but you can see, guys, right? Let me get the picture turned around here. You look right there. See that play? We shouldn't have that play there. So we got to get this out and split that. I'm going to start by doing a little, putting a little PB blaster on the bolts so the break loose a little easier for us. Then we'll get the drive shaft out. Okay guys, so we oiled them up so we can get them broke loose. Then we got to get these 4 bolts on the drive shaft here out. 4 more on the yoke up there. So we'll get them out and then we'll show you what we got going. Okay guys, so we got all 4 bolts out there. It's hard to do the camera right now. I'm going to try and set it up a little better. I'm going to put it back in, but I've got to hold it with one hand and get these bolts out. So just so you can see, there's 4 bolts on there we pulled out. Okay guys, I'm going to try and get this set up. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. There's 4 bolts on here, this shaft. We're going to pull these bolts off. Hopefully and drop this drive shaft down. First we're going to do is get the impact. Okay, so we got ouch. We got our 4 nuts broke loose. We're going to use the impact so we can buzz these off a little quicker. And I held it with a pipe wrench and broke it loose with my breaker bar. This was easier to get in there. I'm using the same pipe wrench to bring these around so I can get them where they get the impact on them. This Ryobi impact, guys, I tell you, a lot of guys like Milwaukee stuff and it's great, but if you got Ryobi tools ready, this impact is actually pretty stout for what it is. I think it's got 300 foot-pounds of torque. I know the Milwaukee's got a lot more, but if you don't need it, why spend the extra money, especially if you got the tools ready with the batteries. The car doesn't know whether you're using a $30 tool or a $300 one, so what's it matter? Okay, so all them bolts are up for the drive shaft now. The only thing we have to do is remove that support bearing, which is our thing we plan on fixing here shortly. So, okay, so let's get our bracket joints out. Use a little PV blaster on there, comes right out. Then guys, all I'm doing is take my pry bar and getting it in just inside at the end of that ear, that yoke on there, and pushing back a little bit, and it freed it up enough to move it backwards. We're We're gonna move you guys' camera out of the way so it doesn't drop the drive shaft on top of it, but I'll get it down the ground and give you a better view shortly. And this is the part we're looking at. See how much slop that is in there? You can see that rubber just separated right from it. Anyway, we have to split this drive shaft now so we can get this apart. And it's actually splined in the inside, so we're going to soak this down with some penetrating oil and see what happens here. Okay guys, so the drive shaft out. This is the midship bearing we were talking about we got to replace. I only saw one other video online that talked about this. Everybody else says you got to replace the whole drive shaft. So we're going to try and split this thing here and show you guys how it works. First we're going to cut the old bearing to get it out of the way, and we'll get the rubber mount out of there and see what we get to work with. That should give you guys a little better view. And we'll get our giant sparkler going here. Okay guys, you can see we got cut through on that. Of course I nicked this side of that flange. It shouldn't hurt anything, but be careful when you're doing that with the grinder wheel. Alright, see if we can separate this a little bit. Okay, so we got this done up with the vice grips, got that off of there. Try and get a rubber piece out of here. So we're gonna try and cut this rubber if I can get in there close enough without damaging anything else. This piece here separates that way. That's a spline shafting here. So we're gonna try and get this out of the way so I got something I can tap against and then get that worked out. Okay guys, this rubber part here, I took my grinder and ground it off. Got like a more solid backing. Anyway, you gotta get that off there, so I just want to show you. I'd use the grinder to cut that off, and now we're just gonna take the pliers and the screwdriver, just kind of peel that out of there, hopefully. Oh. Or maybe a couple screwdrivers. Let's see. Whatever. It really doesn't matter what you use. Just gotta get that out of there. Now that's off. You can see how that was part of that bearing. Now we're going to spend a little time with the chisel to get in there. This is the old bearing. I'm going to get this broke loose. You can see right there, separated part of the bearing there. We're going to take and tap that till we get that broke loose and get the shaft out and get it cleaned up. Okay guys, we did get this separated. It took a little bit of work to get this separated here. And be really careful when you're grinding that last little bit of bearing that's on there. I used my cutoff wheel and got this with a few scratches in this. I took 320 sandpaper and cleaned it up, but be really careful you don't gouge it up and get it all torn up. But it's pretty straightforward now that we got the shaft apart. We can put our bearing back in there, press it together, and then we should be good to go. And then we'll put our bolts back in reverse order and we'll kind of show you that as we go. Hey guys, just thought I'd show you. We got that drive shaft all back together. New midship bearing in there. Didn't take much. It took a little while to get the old bearing cut off there, but worked out pretty slick. And now it's ready to put back in the car. Hey guys, just want to do a little follow up on the 2014 Ford Edge drive shaft we just worked on. The midship bearing, as you saw, we were able to get that back together, working fine. I will say if you end up needing U-joints, you cannot get the U-joints. So before you go through the hassle of replace this midship bearing, just make sure your U-joints are okay, or otherwise you're going to be looking at buying that drive shaft. Anyway, the midship bearing can be done as you saw. Car is driving fine. Stay tuned for further videos. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching.